Tonight on News 5 Live, opposition leader Shine Barrow scores a big win in the High Court, forcing the Alliance for Democracy and its interim leader to vacate the UDP headquarters immediately. Meanwhile, tragedy strikes in Independence as a construction worker is fatally stabbed, and Fonto King's lifeless body is pulled from a river in Dangriga. In court news, an airport employee requests to drop charges against his cousin after a recent fight. These stories and more coming up in just 1 minute. Stay tuned.
100 reasons to step back. But when you achieve your goal, they will follow you. Gorilla, make some noise.
At St. Catherine Academy, we're not just teaching history and science, we're preparing our young women for the future. Going cashless with Digi Wallet isn't only about convenience, it's about safety and building a tech-savvy generation. St. Catherine Academy and Digi Wallet are leading the way, showing that a secure and cashless campus is possible and beneficial to all. You should try Digi Wallet yourself today and see what you've been missing.
Let us help you to empower your school with Digi Wallet. Streamline payments, elevate efficiency.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, November 8th. I am Sabrina Daly. The tide has turned in favor of Moses Shine Barrow as the United Democratic Party's leadership battle heads to court. Attorney Emmanuel Williams from Glenn D. Godfrey and Company LLP, representing Barrow, Michael Perafit, Shari Medina, Albert August, and Hugo Pat, urgently sought court intervention to reclaim the UDP headquarters through an interim injunction. The court granted this request, allowing Barrow and his team to take back the property, although the fixed date claim filed by Williams is still pending. Now, Barrow and his executives have the green light to repossess the UDP building. But the big question remains, who is the real leader of the UDP, and did Panton and the Alliance for Democracy trespass when they took over the Youth for the Future property? News 5's Paul Lopez has the details.
Tracy Panton and the Alliance for Democracy made a bold move by storming the UDP headquarters, seizing control of the party's iconic building on Youth for the Future Drive, along with Wave Radio and the Guardian newspaper. This dramatic takeover happened just days after Panton and her movement held a national convention to appoint a new UDP leader. Tonight, a High Court order has swung the pendulum back, granting Leader of the Opposition Moses Shine Barrow and his executive team the authority to reclaim the headquarters and resume their operations.
It was a hearing of an inter-parties injunction. Our clients, the applicants, filed an injunction in the court last week to remove the respondents from the premises at the UDP headquarters and for themselves to re-enter the premises. So the court heard that application this morning. The court considered the evidence before it and the submissions on both sides. The practical effect is that the court order takes effect immediately. Therefore, the applicants, Mr. Barrow and his colleagues, can attend to the UDP headquarters and repossess the property as of 10 a.m. today.
A few hours after the High Court's decision, Tracy Panton took to social media to express the disappointment felt by her supporters. She explained that the court granted an interim injunction allowing temporary occupation of the headquarters, emphasizing that this injunction is only provisional.
The relief extends until the determination of the main claim, which, based on the issues there and how it's resolved before the court, may affect this application today and the orders granted.
In their main claim, the respondents want the court to determine whether Panton or Barrow is the rightful leader of the UDP. They argue that Panton has no authority under a trust to control the UDP headquarters and that she unlawfully took over Wave Radio and the Guardian newspaper. These are just three of the many issues the court will start addressing on January 14th, We spoke with attorney Sheena Pitts after today's injunction hearing. Panton appointed her as interim party chair on October 20th, and she insists that Panton is still the UDP leader based on a recent convention.
What happened this morning is an interim injunctive relief, temporary. It is not permanent. And what were discussed or argued this morning has nothing as to Honorable Panton's party leadership. That has not been argued. And so there is no room for suggestion that anything changes the validity of the October 20th, 2024 convention and the results therefrom. So the interim injunction does not change the fact that Honorable Panton is the interim party leader.
But Williams contends that no one should be declared leader of the United Democratic Party, not Panton nor Barrow, until the court makes its decision on that argument.
Because it's before the court, I would urge to say it's an opportune time to not, in fact, declare anyone as a party leader, since it's before the court and has to be addressed. And I appreciate that the media do also wants to protect itself in a position like that.
So until the High Court hears the full case, Moses Shine Barrow and his executive team can reclaim the headquarters that Panton and her team took over on October 28th. Meanwhile, the Alliance for Democracy insists that Barrow has been recalled.
So it is important to understand that this injunctive relief does not change the reality that Honorable Shine Barrow has been recalled. All this temporary relief is saying, before we would determine the validity of that convention, we will grant an order to say, allow him to be there. You are still open to challenge that order that allows him to be there. And we move forward with determining what the real issue is. Because the real issue is not that we're trespassers. I'm sure you can appreciate that. The real issue is not that the Honorable Tracy Panton is a trespasser. The real issue is that she is the duly elected interim party leader by majority from that October 28, 2024 Unity Convention.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
This afternoon, Panton issued a release under the United Democratic Party's letterhead. The release says, quote, "This order is strictly restricted to occupancy of the building and not a declaration by the court on who is or is not the leader of the UDP. The court will now proceed to case management and subsequently set a date for the actual hearing of the case, at which time attorneys for Honorable Panton and Philippa Bailey will be heard," unquote. Interestingly, Panton showed up to today's hearing without a lawyer. She requested a postponement, but the court turned her down. Attorney Sheena Pitts also tried to step in as a friend of the court, but that request was denied too. Pitts later explained why Panton appeared in court without legal representation.
That is the thing, why Honorable Panton had wanted an extension of time. Her representation is outside the jurisdiction, and there are certain things that must be done in order to establish being able to be heard in this jurisdiction by those attorneys, and that has not been done. And so what happened today really is Honorable Panton, from her own mouth, was able to, and I must say most stellarly, indicate to the court and invite the court to appreciate that this is not a matter of trespass. This is a matter of the convention. And that is why I tell you the court was very, very clear in saying both parties must cooperate and assist the court in identifying what the real issue is.
With case management for the Barrow-Panton court case set for January 14th, 2025, it looks like this legal battle could drag on for months. How will this impact their chances in the upcoming general elections, which rumors suggest might be held early? Will the UDP have enough time to mount a strong challenge against the PUP in any constituency? Today we asked Barrow's attorney if the urgency of the situation is being considered.
There's a date of January 14, 2025 for the first hearing of the fixed date claim form, which essentially will be a case management hearing.
So we're looking at months, if I could. So we're looking at a period of months because that's just case management.
We're looking at a period of months because after case management, then you have orders to be complied with, and the court directed the parties to see how best we can handle the case or deal with the matters going forward.
The parties here don't have all that time to settle this dispute because an election is certainly likely within the next 6 months. Is there any way the court can be, or is it in your client's interest to apprise the court of the urgency of the matter?
The matter is urgent. The earliest date the court will address the matter is in January, and that is the best time given the circumstances. I think it's an opportune time for the parties to see how quickly the matter can be resolved, whether in court or otherwise.
And finally, there's no indication that Panton and her team won't hand over the keys to the UDP headquarters. With today's ruling, Barrow can even request police assistance to enforce the court order. While damages for unlawful possession and conversion of property are among the relief sought in the fixed date claim, they weren't granted today. According to attorney Emmanuel Williams, damages alone wouldn't be enough.
The UDP headquarters is a symbolic relic within the UDP, Belize, and our clients, the applicants. As such, if they were to be paid damages, which is a monetary compensation instead of repossession, that would not assuage or fix the problem of not having possession. Our clients are political figures, and they utilize this political infrastructure for particular purposes. Therefore, a monetary compensation would not suffice. The order takes effect immediately, so they can literally go ask for the keys or have a police officer assist them with enforcing the court order.
And the consequences legally if the other side chooses not to?
Contempt of court.
Coming up, Matthew Moses is shot and killed in San Pedro.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith." On day 6 of the ill-fated mission of Apollo 13, the astronauts needed to make a critical course correction. If they failed, they might not return to Earth. To conserve power, they shut down the onboard computer that steered the craft. Yet the astronauts needed to conduct a 39-second burn of the main engine. How could they steer the craft? Astronaut Jim Lovell determined that if they could keep a fixed point in space in view through their tiny window, they could steer the craft manually. That focal point turned out to be their destination, the Earth. For 39 agonizing seconds, Lovell focused on keeping the Earth in view. And by not losing sight of that reference point, the 3 astronauts avoided disaster. The Bible also reminds us that in order for us to finish our life mission successfully, that we need to fix our eyes on Jesus Christ, the author and the finisher of our faith. May God help you to finish with Jesus being the focal point of your life. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Tired of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
In Belize, we value our families, we value our communities, we value our neighbors. 90% of Belizeans think it's time for laws that protect all of us and reflect society at its best. 94% of Belizeans agree that public spaces in Belize should be more accessible to people living with disabilities. In Belize, we believe in fair treatment and supporting one another. We know that our beautiful country is at its best when we come together for the greater good. 2 out of 3 Belizeans support a new law to prevent discrimination in employment and public spaces. It shouldn't matter where we come from, who we love, or what we look like. Belizeans deserve to live our best lives. It's time for laws that protect all of us and reflect our society at its best. Equal Opportunities Bill. Belize, we're ready.
Tragedy struck Independence Village on Thursday night when a construction worker was fatally stabbed during a confrontation with another man. The victim, Selvin Humes, was known to his family as a peaceful person, so they were devastated and shocked by the news of his violent death. The incident occurred on Toucan Street, right in front of a local business. News 5's Marian Ali covered the heartbreaking story in her report.
My auntie called me and I read this, so I get the news. Then by the time I got in Koya, they said the body already gone. Down Griga, I want to see the man body and all of that. I never did.
The family of 28-year-old Selvin Humes is reeling from shock and grief as they prepare for his funeral. On Thursday night, Humes, a construction worker, was involved in an altercation with another man just before 9. His cousin, Jeremy Garbott, shared with News 5 that Selvin had been living with his mom. Their work schedules often kept them apart, so Jeremy only saw him occasionally while commuting to and from his job site.
I'm there down Griga, I'm to work, and he made my mom when I'm there down Griga. He made take care of my mom for the meanwhile. He made work construction with a contract for my uncle. I see my cousin here and there. I see he, to pick up here. I say, bye, cuz, you alright? I'll be like, yeah, cuz, I good, I going to work.
Humes' aunt, Iloni King, shared with News 5 that Humes moved out of her house about 3 weeks ago after having stayed with her for many years. When he did, she grew concerned because she hardly saw him.
Immediately, a good while with me, but suddenly when he picked up himself, a guy said, auntie, I'm going to live with my ma. For the longest I never see him, a good little while funny time, he left fire. Like, must be about last month he left fire, and then I don't see him, for today I don't see him till now I hear about her, the way there. So it's sad for know that he gonna kind of way there.
Humes was stabbed in the throat and died the same night at the Independence Polyclinic. Police have detained the suspect pending investigations. The tragic incident has left the villagers who knew Humes in a state of shock, as shared by Independence Chairman Clifton Garbott.
He's a young man who has made this village his home. It's shocking and unsettling. Community, we are familiar with one another. These acts of violence disrupts our peaceful atmosphere. And listening to villagers earlier this morning, there was a sense of disbelief. In my discussion with the members of the police department, the young man that they have in custody, he's someone who I'm personally familiar with. since he worked with the council for over a year.
Humes' relatives say he was a man who kept to himself, so the news that he was killed during an altercation has left them with many questions.
He just chill. He not talk to you unless, you're top here or something, because, he distracted, he hitting phones in his own world.
Mother, he a cool person, and they just hurt her like that. What that the problem, why they hurt her? If anybody fasted her, then he get ignorant, because he a cool person, and he not do nothing bad out of the way for make people hurt her that kind of way. That way I know he has.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
A man who had just been released from Belize Central Prison a week ago was found dead in the riverside area of Dangriga this morning. Guermo Martinez's body was discovered floating between two boats in a well-known part of the river, right across from the bustling Dangriga town market and just a short distance from where vendors sell their produce and goods. News 5's Marian Ali spoke with a friend of Guermo, who mentioned that locals affectionately called him the Fonto King and that he had seen him earlier this week. Here's the full report.
Guermo Martinez, who was released from the Belize Central Prison just last Friday, was tragically found dead this morning. His body was discovered floating in the riverside area of Dangriga shortly after 6. Known to his friends as Fonto King, Martinez had spent the past year behind bars for a theft conviction. One of his friends shared with News 5 that he last saw Martinez on Monday night in the same area.
Probably after 10 I see the man walking along the riverside and I give the man a little buzz and that was that. Never see him again. Tuesday I went out to the Keys and caught a fisherman and we came in last night, and then this morning I went to the market very early this morning, and by the time I walk in the market, somebody said they have a body over there, and by the time I look across the river, one man they said, "Oh boy, they're about Fonto King."
Martinez's friend said he was known to many as Fonto King because he made a living selling tobacco.
I know him as one vendor where he and his whole family then sell tobacco and sell Fonto. That's why they call the man Fonto King, eh? And sell Fonto and sell the food and the what's not.
The police have not yet released any information on this death. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
This afternoon in San Pedro, a fatal shooting claimed the life of Matthew Moses. According to initial reports, Moses allegedly attacked an unnamed man with an object. In response, the man, who reportedly has a licensed firearm, shot and killed Moses during the confrontation. The Belize Police Department has yet to release an official statement on the incident. Stay tuned for more details in our Monday evening newscast. Today's arraignment was anything but ordinary for the two ramp agents from the Philip Gosen International Airport in Ladyville. It unfolded in the lower courts following a near-fatal confrontation where a knife was involved, leaving one employee injured. Initially, reports claimed one worker had stabbed his colleague. However, another version suggested the injury was self-inflicted when the aggressor accidentally fell on his own knife during the scuffle. Earlier today, the injured man admitted that he hurt himself. At 10 a.m., 27-year-old Darvin Jamal Sutherland and 19-year-old Giovanni Ishmael Mackenzie faced charges in the Belize City Magistrates Court. Mackenzie, who was injured, received police bail, while Sutherland was detained and brought to court in handcuffs. Mackenzie, clearly in pain from his injury, needed assistance from his cousin and stepfather to enter the courtroom. During the proceedings, Mackenzie's odd behavior raised concerns about his ability to comprehend the court process. Before the charges were read, Mackenzie announced that he was there to drop the charges against his cousin, Darvin Sutherland. However, the prosecutor explained that Mackenzie couldn't withdraw the charges on the spot. He was informed that to drop the indictable charge, he must return to the precinct where he initially reported the incident and request no further court action. Only then would the DPP issue directives to the court. After the break, will the U.S. continue funding Belize's climate projects? But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
Belize, get ready. In your kitchen, Belize Edition is bringing you simple, healthy, delicious meals made just for you. Join Chef Ainsley and our team of nutritionists as they show you how to turn local favorites into nutritious, tasty dishes. Plus, discover the amazing health benefits of everyday foods right from your kitchen. Catch the premiere on Channel 5 on November 18th at 7:30 p.m. And tune in every Monday after for healthier cooking that's easy and fun. Brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness with support from Taiwan ICDF, making healthy cooking a Belizean tradition.
I want to know.
Family meetings about your energy consumption don't have to be scary. Small changes done every day can make a big difference.
And whatever we save, we could spend it on something fun.
Like ice cream.
And video here? Or even a family trip to the Keys.
Talk to your family about energy management today. Do a little, conserve a lot. Need help? The BEL 24/7 app has tools to get you on the right track. Download today and let's talk energy management.
¿Eres un agricultor visionario listo para adoptar prácticas climáticamente inteligentes? El futuro de agricultura es resiliente, sostenible y rentable, y estamos aquí para ayudarte a lograrlo. Ya sea que cultives medio acre a 200 acres, DFC ofrece opciones de financiamiento accesible y un subsidio compensario de hasta $12,000 para la ventana 1 y hasta $60,000 para la ventana 2. Para que tu finca sea climáticamente inteligente, resista los impactos climáticos impredecibles y adopte prácticas que mejoren la productividad y eficiencia. Este programa es ideal para agricultores y cooperativas. Se anima especialmente a las mujeres agricultoras a aprovechar esta oportunidad. Únete a nosotros en la creación de un futuro agrícola resiliente y sostenible para Belice. Aplica ahora y da ese siguiente paso hacia un mañana más fuerte y verde.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added on for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix add-on for only $28.13 more. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
This morning, 19 students from across Belize were the recipients of academic grants under the Protected Areas Conservation Trust's Youth Academic Support Grant Program. These grants provide students with the necessary funds to complete their higher education with the goal of preparing them to contribute back to Belize in the future. Today, News 5's Brittany Gordon attended the award ceremony in Belmopan to meet the fortunate awardees.
The Protected Areas Conservation Trust PACT
aims to sustainably enhance Belize's socio-ecological systems through strategic financing and partnerships. For nearly 3 decades, PACT has been funding organizations dedicated to preserving the country's natural resources. Today, however, the thousands of dollars PACT is investing are going directly to individuals. At the award ceremony for PACT's academic grants, Chairman Dr. Kenrick Williams explained how these grants align with the organization's mission.
We have refocused our mission to say that it's not just about the environment and conservation, it's about the people and how these two things work together, how we use and sustainably manage our natural resource. That is the mission of PACT. And so we felt it fundamentally important that we invest in our young people, that we invest in our people who use and depend on these resources.
Williams explains that PACT sought to expand the types of students selected for the grant, so that the environmental field may be supported from all fronts.
Our investment and our thought is not just on the biologists and the natural resource management students. We're investing in a cross-section of students that does business, that does economics, that does environmental conservation, because you are going to be the people who are going to drive AI and machine learning in conservation. You're going to be the people who does environmental economics and natural resource valuation. You're going to be people who does the carbon credits. You're going to be the people who drive all the new ideas of environmental conservation and management, and how we as a country who have sustainably used our resource go out there and say, hey, this is what Belize have done. We've made an investment. How much are you going then to support that?
Students pursuing a bachelor's degree received a generous $10,000, while those going for an associate degree got $5,000. These students are heading to various schools, including the University of Belize, Carrizal Community College, and Independence Junior College. Among them is Chantel Del Leon, who is excited to study hospitality and tourism management at Galen University.
I am actually very interested in the sustainability area and as well in the culture area. I am part of a niche also, and I am part of a dancing group, and I always like to preserve, to try to help in a way to the environment. And this scholarship will help me because it is a great opportunity for me that I am really having difficulties to pursue this degree, but with the help of PACT, I am sure that I will be doing my bachelor's degree.
At the ceremony, students were advised to pursue careers in-country upon completion of their degrees. PACT hopes that by assisting students with their education, they will be motivated to invest their skills back into the country. Minister of Sustainable Development Orlando Habet elaborated on this goal.
Last year we constituted the program and said that it is a way where PAC can also have some investment. It's not only on the protected areas management, the conservation of our biodiversity, whether it's plants, animals, water, but also to have an investment on the people. And in this case, with students who will be some of our future leaders and also some of the people who will be leading these conservation organizations working towards the reduction of those factors that cause climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution. But if you heard, it wasn't only those that are pursuing academic careers in environment and natural resource management, but we looked at areas of biology, the social studies, because all that has to do with conservation.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Earlier this week, the United States held its 2024 presidential election, with Republican candidate Donald J. Trump emerging victorious over Democratic candidate Kamala Harris. During his previous term, Trump limited interactions with Belize and other smaller developing nations. Throughout his campaign, he pushed for reduced government spending. His policy blueprint, Project 2025, even proposed cutting funds for climate-resilient projects abroad. Although Trump has since distanced himself from this plan, questions linger about whether the U.S. will continue supporting Belize's environmental initiatives and stay committed to the Paris Agreement. We spoke with Minister of Sustainable Development, Orlando Habet, to get his take on the matter. Here's what he had to say.
Difficult to tell what will happen, but I believe that as a government and they having a State Department, I think that some of their commitments that are on the table might continue. We don't know what the President will do in the next few days and whether or not he will make decisions now before he takes over in January. But if we know about Project 25, in Project 25 they practically state that they will withdraw from the Paris Agreement. That is a problem because they have some contributions to make, and also because they are one of the biggest emitters, so they are responsible for coming up with some of the funding for the developing countries. I think I read somewhere also that they might withdraw some funding from projects like USAID, which is bad for us also because we are also recipients of some of those of that funding. But it seems to me though that he has a different team being put together that might advise him to do otherwise, different from what he did in the first term. But who am I to say what he will do, right? But we are hopeful still. I think the relationship that we have with the United States of America has been practically on level ground, whether our administration changes in Belize or whether their administration changes in the U.S.
Last month, leaders from around the globe converged in Cali, Colombia for COP16. The summit aimed to ramp up biodiversity protection and secure $20 billion in funding for preservation efforts. Unfortunately, many participants fell short, raising only about $400 million, far from the ambitious target. Today, we caught up with the Minister of Sustainable Development, Orlando Habet, who shared his thoughts on the conference. He acknowledged that while not all goals were met, it wasn't a complete failure.
If you look at what you go for, and it all depends on how much time you spend, you can get back something. At the global level, some people are disappointed because COP16 didn't produce what they wanted, especially the $20 billion that everybody's looking for. But I think there were certain solutions that came about for those who were seeking country-level support. I think many of them got some. I think for Belize, we got a few commitments as a region with CARICOM also, and as a region with Central America, SICA, we also got some. Looking at the climate change COP, which is much bigger, being held in Baku in Azerbaijan, the climate change COP to me is a little bit more commercial. It's larger, it's very impersonal, and so you really have to go there with a focus on what you want to achieve. For me though, at all the COPs, I try to make certain that we have some bilateral meetings. Sit with Norway, with the US, with Canada, and so that you can have additional sources for projects, apart from what the Climate Change Fund will do. Success stories for Belize, for example, our CEO is on the Adaptation Fund Board, on the Global Adaptation Fund Board. We were able in the last year or so be able to bring in about $18 million for adaptation projects in Belize. We have projects with the GCF, the Green Climate Fund, which we are pursuing. PACT is the accredited agency, so we're trying to see how we can locate some funds for certain projects. There are several projects in the pipeline which we are trying to get along with the support from the Ministry of Economic Development and the Ministry of Finance. And so we can't just leave it alone. We have to continue pursuing it so that then at the end we can get the funding that we are looking for.
In just a few days, the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP29, will kick off. This event brings together global leaders to discuss strategies for boosting climate resilience and holding themselves accountable for past environmental promises. This year, Belize is sending a small delegation, including Minister of Agriculture, Jose Abelardo Mai. We spoke with Minister of Sustainable Development, Orlando Habet, who shared that the focus of the conference will be on increasing access to funding. Here's more on that.
One of the main focus areas for COP29 will be financing. And the $100 billion that was promised some years ago finally accordingly reached in 2022 but we are looking for much more than that. The talk is in the trillions of dollars. I will be leading AOSIS and CARICOM in the new collective quantified goal, which is trying to see how these developed countries fulfill their commitments based on the Paris Agreement that says that developed countries are to provide the funding for developing countries. As AOSIS, as Caribbean, because we are small, considered small island developing states, we are highest in vulnerability to climate change, and so we are also looking for them to consider our vulnerabilities as part of the consideration for the funding. But we also had some success in the previous COP where the loss and damage fund was approved. It's somewhere a little bit over $400 million. We want to see how at this COP it can increase. The president of COP29 says that they will try to see how in the first week they can try to scale up that funding. And so if we are around the table, we can start negotiating.
When we return, the Salvation Army Belize launches Red Kettle Drive.
Take control with My Social Security, your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. To create a My Social Security account, you must be 14 years or older and have a valid email address. Visit the My Social Security self-service portal at ssbportal.org.bz. Click on Create Account. Enter your date of birth and phone number. Next, verify your email address to continue. To verify, simply enter your email address and click the Send Verification button. Enter the verification code sent to your email inbox to proceed. Next, create a password that meets the requirements. Enter the name and select a reason for your account. Then click Create. Your My Social Security account was successfully created. Your information security is our priority. If you have a Social Security number, click Link My SSN to link your Social Security number to your account and activate using the steps in your confirmation email. If you do not have a Social Security number, click Register with SSB. You are now ready to truly experience Social Security at your fingertips.
Hi, my name is Lincoln Fowers and I work at UMall. 100% I will recommend Belize Bank mobile banking to everyone because it saves time, money and gas price because gas price is high right now. Belize Bank mobile banking just make life easier.
Rising prices got you down? Well, let Benny's lift you up in these tough financial times. Right now, get low prices on construction materials, such as lumber. And whenever you make a purchase, remember to get your B-Box, which is free money. Only at Benny's, quality and savings.
In Belmopan, young people are coming together to take part in climate resilient projects, thanks to funding from the Bloomberg Youth Climate Action Fund. These initiatives are designed to put youth at the forefront of climate action. Today, the University of Belize hosted the Youth Climate Action Symposium, where students learned how they can drive the environmental changes they want to see.
We want action.
Think green, act smarter. That is the theme of today's Youth Climate Action Symposium at the University of Belize in Belmopan. The forum brought together 150 students from primary, secondary, and tertiary schools to raise awareness about climate change. Sammy Young, the president of the university's environmental club, shared insights on the topics discussed during the event.
For an example, we have how climate change affects biodiversity loss and forestry. And another one would be how climate change affects agriculture and food security. So all very really good thematic focuses, and then we'll have experts from different organizations, both NGOs and government organizations, come here in these classrooms to provide the students with statistics, and they're the experts and they're going to provide us with their information to educate us about how climate change is actually affecting these different things.
The symposium is a part of a broader initiative funded by the Bloomberg Youth Climate Action Fund, which offers technical support and funding to over 100 mayors, helping them engage thousands of young people in creating and managing urgent climate solutions in their cities. Mayor Pablo Kawich mentioned that the groundwork for this $100,000 grant was laid by the previous administration and continued when he took office. Now, the City Council is aiming for another grant, this time for $200,000, to support even more projects.
There are many different results that we expect. Yesterday, I attended another function for Raquel Art, who was also another recipient of the fund, and they have repurposed materials as part of art. So there are different projects depend for the different groups. We have, in the case of I think UB, they had a reforesting initiative for the 10 Cents Creek. We have other agencies or other recipients that also had awareness campaigns. So the results of the fund and the investment is in different aspects of climate change.
The money is to be distributed among 10 different youth-led projects. Each group put together a proposal detailing their project scope and the positive impact it would have on the environment. Dr. Piyosaki, advisor of the Environmental Club at UB, explained that process to us.
And it was very specific, and it points directly to what we do as an environmental club. Our motto is serve to conserve and let nature educate. That's the motto of the environmental club. And this project had an aspect where we're supposed to engage community on climate impacts and climate action that we need to take, particularly for the city of Belmopan. So the project is very specific, is very specific. And so our proposal is aimed at creating this awareness among the schools and the university of students on climate and climate impact in Belize.
For many attendees, today's event was their first experience at a climate-focused forum. Aya El-Kishawi, a Standard 6 student from Garden City Primary School, was thrilled to contribute to strengthening Belize's climate resilience.
When you take care of your environment, it's better for the whole climate and for our earth. And it's just like better because when you start young and try to help, it will be better when you're older.
What are some small changes that you think you can make in your life to preserve the environment?
Well, I think that we should like stop littering and like try to like throw them in garbage and not throw in oceans or lakes or rivers or any of the like take care of the water.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
The Salvation Army Belize is kicking off the holiday season early with the launch of its Red Christmas Kettle initiative. This annual fundraiser has been a beloved tradition in Belize for decades. The official opening ceremony took place today in Battlefield Park. Now you can spot these iconic red kettles at various locations throughout the city and across the country. The Salvation Army Belize is on a mission to raise $100,000 to help those in need this Christmas season.
As you all may be aware, Salvation Army Red Christmas Kettle is one of an event that we have every year across the world. And it is one of the largest fundraising that we have in the Salvation Army. And our aim is to help those who are less fortunate, especially our children who are looking for the Salvation Army to give them a toys, a gift, and to provide a hot meal for them. So we just are here for them. And we believe with the help of the public, of the donors, sponsors, we will be able to achieve our goals. Today is our opening ceremony. As you can see, we have our special guest, Dr. Villanueva Rene with us. And now Christmas is open. So we're going to start our campaign Monday 11 to December. However, we have some latest meal appeal that we have sent out there to business places, to different donors, sponsors, and we are seeking for help. And I'm asking them, please do open the letters because we see the needs. We have the beneficiaries, but we just need the donors to come along to make it possible.
Up next in this week's episode of The Bright Side, sharing the art of silverware jewelry.
Institute of Belize, in collaboration with UNICEF, informs the public that it will conduct the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey starting August 26th for approximately 14 weeks. During the survey, trained interviewers will visit randomly selected households nationwide. Each field worker will wear a mint green t-shirt with the Mix 7 logo and an official photo identification card. We thank you for your participation. For more information on the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey, call us at 822-2207. The Statistical Institute of Belize, providing Belize with quality, objective, and timely information.
You've been waiting for. In this corner, we have the masters of limitless power and unbeatable connection. Pioneers of 4G LTE in Belize. It's the undefeated champion, Smart. And in the other corner, struggling to keep up, it's the other guy. Fight! Of getting blow after blow from a plan with the other guys? It's time to tap out and join the winning postpaid plan provider. Smart's postpaid plans are a total knockout to the competition, and they have once again powered up their postpaid plans. Sign up for one of Smart's boosted postpaid power plans today and experience the victory of superior service. Smart, bringing people together.
I want to know.
Family meetings about your energy consumption don't have to be scary. Small changes done every day can make a big difference.
And whatever we save, we could spend it on something fun.
Like ice cream.
A video game. Or even a family trip to the Keys.
Talk to your family about energy management today. Do a little, conserve a lot. Need help? The BEL 24/7 app has tools to get you on the right track. Download today and let's talk energy management.
Lain ka ba Elmer Shua? Ay yun jik ahelak sa Ecopal Tree Lodge. Keronik ahelan ay lain sa Ecopal, kakwi bartending kakwi an keronik mano lain. Lain ni usara Belize Bank mobile app. Hanak na usare uta hana ATM, outing card. Araw kay balbas Chankiron sa usare ut kulore na notification chira phone na mensajes araw ta kina kulore ta kala harup ci tumin sa usare ut araw ta naw nak sa chabilo wang gatumin.
While on our journey to find unique stories from handicraft artisans, we stumbled upon a hidden gem, silverware art. This incredible craft turns everyday eating utensils into stunning pieces of jewelry and decor, with some creations beautifully capturing the essence of Belizean culture. In the charming Hopkins village, we met an artist who is bringing this imaginative vision to life. Here's his story. Matthew Montague and his wife like to call themselves immigrants, not expats, because they aim to give back to Belize rather than just take from it. When they arrived 4 years ago, they settled into a modest yet charming home in the heart of Hopkins Village. Surrounded by lush greenery, their imaginations are constantly fueled by their pets and the local wildlife. Beneath this cozy dwelling, Montague has carved out a small workshop where his art comes to life. Amidst running thoughts, bursts of creativity, and the occasional insect, he transforms everyday utensils into unique pieces.
It's always funny to watch people's faces because people don't recognize that that's a fork or that that's a spoon. And so I show them. I've got a little speech, and I show them, and they're just, you see the realization, and then they're, oh my goodness, that's a fork.
Montague's business, Shady Acres Belize, showcases a delightful array of his creations, along with his wife's products. But his best-selling items, jewelry crafted from utensils, are the eye-catchers and conversation starters, originating from a distinctive piece his wife owned.
Everything here is made from a fork, a spoon, a handle of some kind, you know, so I start basically with that right there. We have our fork.
It begins with a fork.
Yeah, or if I have a really fancy spoon that has a fancy handle on it, then I can make a nice ring out of that. So my wife Angela had this beautiful octopus pendant that she'd gotten 25 years ago at a festival somewhere in California. And every time we'd go to market or do something, people would ask, oh, did you make that? Where'd you? And finally I said, we've been asked so many times, why am I not making these? So she said, okay, and gave me her grandmother's wedding silverware. And that's where it started. And so I ruined a lot of forks figuring this out, but here we are. And so yeah, it literally started with that. So far she's not haunting us, but you know, we're okay.
Matthew contends that his business is grounded in a commitment to repurposing and recycling. From bottle caps and wires to biodegradable tree branches, Montague turns everyday materials into stunning works of art. Each piece is crafted with a unique vision, ready to tell its own story.
As you can see here, most of the stuff I use is I try to recycle. You know, the forks and silverware we purchase, they're repurposed versus recycled, but all of the wood and the backing and a lot of the other materials that I use in my arts are all recycled.
Where do you get these items from?
Pick them up on the beach. A lot of trash I pick up on the beach, plastics and bottle caps.
Talk
bags.
about one man's trash is
yeah,
another.
it's another man's treasure. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, and so I scrap it. You know, I used a lot of the wire from my house when we built this house. I used all the leftover wire that was extra and scraps to make different arts and fish pieces. And you know, an example. This is just recycled, little piece of recycled wire. So, but I used to make giant ones when I first started. I made huge fish like that. That was where the Bellacuda came from. And so I'm trying to incorporate Belizean into my art. You know, I've got product. You know, I did a fish recently that was an amazing month-long project of spoons, and I used all spoons for the scales. I'll have to show you a picture because it's gone. But the head portion was made out of Bellican bottle caps. So you know that fish is from Belize. Yeah. That fish is somewhere in the U.S. right now, but it's from Belize.
Montague's pieces make excellent gifts or striking statement items for personal wear. With the high season approaching, access to these gems can be found in many ways.
We're a part of Markets on the Go, and we travel all over Belize with them and to some amazing market events. We're getting ready for pop-up market season to start again here shortly in December. We'll have one at Itzana. We're at Barefoot once a month regularly through the season, Beach Bar in Placentia. And then we support a lot of shops in the area with a lot of our art too. Our biggest supporter is Guermo here in Hopkins.
As Montague strives to create a space where he can give back to the country he now calls home, he hopes his artistic journey brings joy to everyone who experiences it. What do you hope for people to feel or remember about you as an artist or your work as art?
I try to create happy feelings for people, things that you look at it and you make smile. You know, jewelry's always amazing. I love jewelry. It makes me happy. Musicians, you know, I've got my band here. Musicians take that and they're pretty, it takes it home. It's something that they identify with. And so if you can find a piece of my art that you identify with, that's really what I'm trying to do.
Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.